Adeline is a really special person. I think she's one of a kind because she has this childlike heart, and anyone who's around her is having a good time and laughing and having fun, and she can make any moment feel special. And I think that's just one thing that sets her apart from the rest because she's just such a light.
And it's just even from the messages that we've gotten from people, it's like one word that seems to always come out when people describe her is this bubbly, outgoing person, bubbly. And that's honestly what Adeline always was. And it didn't depend, it didn't matter, what we were doing, the event, the occasion, if everyone else was in a terrible mood. Adeline could find a light in any situation and make it more bearable or fun to be around. And that's, I think, what drew everyone to her, regardless of who you were or what you believed. Like, she was a magnet that drew everyone closer to her.
When sh um, when a lot of people have been following our story and Adeline's story through social media, and we felt it was only right to let people know of her passing. And in my message, I said that despite everything we're going through, we're going to continue to live the way Adeline lived, and that is by having the most vibrant life we can cultivate.
Adeline ended up coming down with COVID around the beginning of July, around July 8th. She started to show symptoms. And within the week of just quarantining at home with me when we were down in Houston, Texas, it became apparent that this was getting, worse and she wasn't going to be able to do it on her own just at home. And that's when she went into the hospital. And within the next, few weeks, she was put on a ventilator and the ECMO machine. And we knew that it was going to be a really long, hard road, and we expected at least 6 to 8 weeks, if not longer. And we were starting to see the progress. Her settings were coming down, which is a good thing, meaning that her body was able to take more stress and she was able to do more things that like that we do without all the machines. And it's actually the day before she ended up dying. She had completely come off the ECMO machine and I'm pretty sure the ventilator. And we were riding that high, like we were so excited. But that evening, one of the nurses went in for a routine check on her and she just wasn't responsive because we were struggling with the getting her off the sedation. That was our main problem right now. But when she was mainly off the sedation, she could communicate with her nurses or over FaceTime with my parents by, like reading their lips and everything. And she didn't really have a voice, but the nurse could translate and read her lips for my parents and they could communicate that way. And she was in no state of communicating. And that's when the nurse knew that something wasn't right. And an emergency CT just showed the extent of a massive brain bleed, which is not an unforeseen thing, but I don't think that they were thinking that that would come like it did. And by the time it was found, the damage was too extensive that it was a 1 in a million chance that Adeline would be anything that we knew her to be. And so within 6 hours at 4:24 in the morning, my parents were called into the hospital and she ended up passing away in my mom and dad's arms.
From a really young age, Adeline knew that she wanted to be a doctor. As young as 5, she was playing Operation and trying to fix up her dolls, and she held on to that goal and she went for it. And there's just a deep part of Adeline that's just her compassion and her need to help people. And she was so gifted at communicating with people and reassuring people and their families. And um, there wasn't ever really a doubt in our mind that she wouldn't make it. There were obstacles along the way, but I remember when she walked across the stage and they called her Dr. Adeline Fagan, we were just beside ourselves, so proud because it was her dream and she made it come true, and that was all her hard work. And in the last year, she brought helped to bring life into the world. She delivered babies, and she died while she was doing something that she truly enjoyed doing. I think in a way, when you're a frontline worker, there is obviously an inherent danger, but it was never something that Adeline um, shied away from. She wanted to continue to do her job and to help people. You know, COVID does not discriminate. And even pregnant women who have COVID that need to have their babies delivered, Adeline wanted to be there and she wanted to do her job and continue to help people even through all the chaos.